Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Relationships Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Colombo, and this episode is called Emotional Self-Responsibility and Play with or Without Clothes with Jordan and Nicholas. And I want to thank my friends, Jordan and Nicholas, for going along on this journey of this podcast episode. And I also wanted to congratulate them for getting engaged. I actually knew that that Nicholas was going to propose to Jordan when we recorded this podcast a few weeks ago. And I had to be very careful not to let the cat out of the bag while I was interviewing them. But they had a very beautiful engagement and are now engaged. You'll also hear me mention in the podcast episode that I was in a relationship when I recorded the episode, and I am now out of a relationship, and I won't comment more on that, but I will say, since I have this platform and since dating is very difficult, if you are hearing this and are a woman who is interested in dating, you can reach out to me. My email address is site, S-I-T-E, @MatthewColombo.com. And so this episode is really fun. It's also just sweet. You can really hear the sweetness between Jordan and Nick in this episode. And all the timestamps are in the notes to the episode, but I just want to highlight a few things here. So you'll hear about Jordan and Nicholas talk about working through real raw issues with other couples and how they do that. You'll hear about the difficulty of receiving feedback in a relationship and how to work through that difficulty. As the title of the episode says, you'll also be hearing from Jordan and Nick about mutual emotional self-responsibility, which essentially amounts to not blaming each other for emotions. This is a huge key piece of relationship, and so you'll get Nick and Jordan's wisdom about that. Also, a very different topic that I haven't explored on this podcast yet is you'll hear about shame and power in a BDSM context. So you'll hear how Jordan and Nicholas work with shame in their sex life. And finally, you'll get some tips for relationship, which are scattered throughout, but also very specifically at the end, with things such as allowing the other person in relationship to be who they are, using play and improvisation, revealing uncomfortable truths, and making space for those truths to be revealed. So you all are in for a real treat, and thank you for being here. And as I've started to do, I will also play you out with my friend Madelyn Ilana's song, Coming Into the Light. And you can find more of her music at madelynilana.com. Thank you all again for being here, and talk with you soon. Welcome, Nick and Jordan, to the Relationships Podcast. And I'm really happy to have you all here. It's been some months since I've recorded an episode, so I'm excited to see what it's like actually interviewing people in relationship. Now myself actually being in relationship, which I wasn't during the last episode. It's kind of living vicariously through other people by interviewing them, which was fun. I had a little bit of a talk with Jordan and Nick a few weeks ago and have some really, I think, interesting and different topics than I usually talk about with people. So you all are in for a treat, those of you that are listening. And I figured we'd just start so we all could say something into the room, maybe about how we're feeling or how our day was, but in the form of what fruit that would be. So, yeah. When you feel inspired, you can share.
I have one ready.
Yeah.
I was really reminded today of my former life as a farmer because it's springtime here in the southeast part of the United States, and it smells like the earth is just really coming alive. And so that first strawberry of like the early summer season, that's what I was reminded of today. So my fruit for the day is a young, fresh, warm strawberry.
Mm-hmm. I think mine would be a cauliflower. That's not a fruit, actually.
I'll allow it.
We're gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. It kind of felt like raunchy and hot and sweaty and floral. It's a flower. Mm-hmm. And we took a hike today, and we had sex on the hike. It was incredible.
Nice.
It was so sweet. And we spent a lot of it in silence. And it just felt... Cauliflower is a very calm fruit. And...
So bland, so white.
Yeah. But so beautiful as well. Like, if you really looked close to a cauliflower, you're like, wow, that's fucking fractal. Or something. There's so many little things going on in a cauliflower. And that's how it felt. It was like there was parts that we just were super chill and really kind of like a regular day, but it felt super beautiful.
Nice.
As well.
A fractal day.
A fractal.
Sweet.
Fracking it up.
Mine was kind of like a peach. Like really like a soft one, not a hard peach. Have you ever had one of those before? Yeah. Just because, really juicy. Therapy session with my partner this morning, and juicy time with my friends, co-working, and I had some juicy chicken. Yeah. Yeah.
That rotisserie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounded good.
Sweet. Well, there's a question that I usually ask people, and it serves sort of two functions. One is just like because I like hearing it, and it's like, how did you all meet, and how did that all come about? And also, I think it can sometimes be useful for people, whether they're considering relationship or are really looking for relationship, like, where do I meet people? I know I was in that place for a while too. So you don't have to speak specifically to that. You can just share your story of how did you all meet, and what's the origin story of your relationship.
Yeah.
Very fun to share with people. I love it.
We literally did meet playing volleyball.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what you mean. Several people have asked me where we met because I know that they're looking for places to meet like-minded people. So can't say enough about the volleyball community in Western North Carolina. It is very special.
Yeah. I think the element of the game of pickup is like, you kind of sit on the sidelines, you get a little talking time while you're waiting to sub in. And then once you get in, you have these points, and then you have like this incredible amount of silence where you can just be like grounded and chill. But then in between points, you can also like be fun and silly and encouraging. We had one of the best teams, like probably one of the most fun nights I've ever had playing volleyball. It was me, Jordan,
two other friends,
my friend, really good close friend, Kat, and another friend, Robbie, and they were just so funny. Robbie was being absolutely hilarious. He was just like, let's go team, what's our team name? Woo, high fives. And he's so positive. One of the most fun people to play. If you know Robbie, you know what we're talking about. And Kat was just being so fun, and Jordy was calling me Nikki at a point, and I was like, ooh.
We were flirting. There was a lot of flirting happening on the court that night.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
And I was in a relationship with somebody else.
Yep. I could feel there was not a full openness to my flirting. It was like fun and silly, but I was like, there's maybe not something. Afterwards, I asked my friend Kat, I was like, so Jordan, she's hot. And Kat was like, yeah, she's dating somebody. And I was like, oh, damn. And so I kind of let it go. And
how long ago was that?
Year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, like last summer.
Mm-hmm.
2 summers ago.
Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dating somebody else, but we were in the process of opening our relationship. And within a couple of months, we did make that decision. And then I was kind of looking to find Nicholas again because I hadn't yet stumbled upon him in my everyday life since then. And I didn't really know anyone who knew him. I couldn't call anybody and be like, hey, give me that guy's number. Nothing like that. And I got on Field, the app that is like more focused around polyamory and kink and BDSM, and he was within the first 5 people that I saw on there, and I was ecstatic. I was so happy that I found him. So I gave him all the like super likes.
Super like a ping. She pinged me.
Whatever they were.
She pinged me.
You can ping people
ready for the opening line
to jump higher onto the list.
And then it was my turn to respond, and I said, "Hey, baby, you want me to spike my balls into your court?" And that was my own. And it worked. Yeah. And then
so we had a period of dating.
Well, we texted for a little bit. Then we didn't really connect, and then we didn't like make a plan to go on a date. We were just like kind of texting, and then we saw each other like 4 days later at volleyball. Like ran into each other. I think, yeah. And she had a tamale, and she was like, "You want some of my tamale?" And I was like, "Yes, please, sign me up." And we ate a tamale. Then we took a walk, and the whole time I was trying to
smell my armpits. He was trying really hard to smell my armpits. That's exactly what happened.
And
after the tamale,
and you always say like I was trying to kiss you, but that wasn't true. You could feel there was so much tension.
Yeah, there was a lot of tension.
And yeah.
So this wasn't the official date. This was like you saw each other before that, and
I was like, I would love to have you over sometime. And yeah, we hung out and pretty quickly. Yeah.
You know, I was mostly available for physical connection. That was the layout of my relationship availability. I was interested in physical connection, and I did not foresee any super deep emotional or spiritual connection or like any grand future together. So we casually dated for a couple of months, and we're having like a great time sleeping together. And the story
there was times
just
during
unfolds from there.
There was time during the first dating round where I mentioned that I really wanted kids and really wanted very similar things. We had very similar vision with what we wanted
for our future.
We took this like long walk at this Earth Skills gathering, and I was just like, wow, this is someone I could really fall for. And I told my friend Kirsten, I said, this woman I could see really falling for, but I'm really trying. I'm like to hold myself at a distance from that. That's not possible right now. She's dating somebody else, and I use as much. I didn't feel like restraint. It just felt like putting it on the shelf. I was like, there's so much desire here for physical connection, and there was also some desire for a long-term partner and kids and marriage and life together. And I was like, that's there, and this person is not going to be the person for that right now. And then they split up a little bit later, and then
there's so much more to the story, and I feel like maybe that's the end of the beginning part of the story.
Yeah, that was the first like 3 months.
So it seems like all of those things that you all talked about, you know, at the Earth Skills Gathering and all those places was like a seed for there's like some commonality here, but it's not possible right now.
Yes.
And at some point later, it became possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we could both tell very early on we had a lot of shared values and vision for the future.
Definitely.
So yeah, how long ago was it then you sort of entered into the relationship that you're in now?
April.
Like this one?
Yeah, almost
April.
a year.
Okay.
March. Yeah. Jordan like called me up, and she was like, we were just talking. I was home in Pittsburgh with my family, and she called me up, and I talked to her on the phone, and she was like, let's hang out as friends. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. I thought she was still dating. And then we went on a hike, and while we were hiking, I was like, so how's it going? She was like, well, we broke up. And I was like, oh.
Oh, that sucks.
That's but inside I was like, woo! I was so excited. And then And then I asked her on a date the next day. And that's the beginning. That was like kind of the beginning of
The beginning of part 2.
Of part 2, yeah. And that's been like that since April.
Beautiful. So, yeah, I have some of the topics and things here that we talked about, but I guess I'll just pose to either or both of you now. Like, is there anything in particular that is feeling really alive in your relationship that you would want to talk about? Otherwise, I'll ask a more specific question.
What's feeling really alive to me is being in couples spaces together. I love mediation and I love talking about what's real and raw and alive for people. And we've been in a few couples spaces recently that have just unfolded into like part play couples group therapy. And it's been amazing. And I'm loving participating with Nicholas in that. That feels really alive to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been really fun. Making up games.
Nicholas is really good at taking a topic at hand and spontaneously creating an activity to help us play with a very tender topic.
Yeah.
That's like one of your superpowers.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it felt really fun. We were just talking about feedback last night and how it can be really hard to receive feedback and take it personally, and also hard to say feedback and say it in a gentle way, and also say, I mean, I think I had a thought today about like, feedback is going to be triggering sometimes, regardless if you say it in a gentle way or not. Like, it's just going to be like that. Anyway, we were talking about feedback, and I thought of this game, and we didn't get a chance to play it, but...
So this was in the context with another couple or other couples?
Yeah, 2 couples
okay.
last night, and...
Yeah.
It was really sweet.
But say the activity that we wanted to do. It's really cool.
Yeah. The activity was... Like, it's a spectrum activity, so someone goes in the middle of the circle who has an example of feedback they want to give, or just an example of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Like, will you stop texting while we're hanging out?
Uh-huh.
And then, based on how you felt towards that feedback, whether you felt triggered or you felt like no big deal, then you get closer or farther away from them. You just stand closer. You come closer to them, or you stand farther away from them.
So one person would go at a time, and then another person would go in, or one person would do a few different...
No, one
things.
person's in the middle, and everyone else is around them. So we were in a group, there were 6 of us last night.
Mm-hmm.
So one person would have been in the middle, saying just any old thing that was authentic to them, however they authentically would have said it.
Mm-hmm.
We all move closer, farther away, hold the constellation, look, take mental notes, and then a new person steps into the center and says,
and we get to look at our partners and see what they're doing. Like, we're like,
oh, right.
It's really triggering for Jordan to
hear it that way.
This could be fun to play with right now.
Yeah.
We could do it right now.
Sure.
Like, what is feedback that is triggering? And I think that's something that I think I'll speak for myself. I've definitely been struggling with. It's like, there's certain times where Jordan will say something and I'm just like, I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Just goes into a shame spiral.
Into a shame spiral, and I feel really stuck.
When you get feedback.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was actually a really common experience in the circle last night. There was other people that were feeling the same way. So.
Did doing that help? Like being in that space yesterday?
Yeah. No, it felt great. Mm-hmm. It's like other people are just as reactive as me, and it's so normal.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful to hear what else they are in conflict about and how they process their conflict. So many little pieces of resonance, like, oh, me too. Oh, I would have felt the same way. Oh, yep, been there. It's very, very affirming, very validating.
Yeah, I mean, it seems super powerful to be amongst other people. I mean, how do you all find yourself in a group like that? That of people that are willing to do it? Like, is it people that you've known for a while? And like, what was the occasion of getting together? Was it for this purpose, or
not really?
I think it is the answer to a lot of heart prayers. We have been talking about this, and when I say heart prayers, I don't mean like we sit by our bedside and we pray to God together, but heart prayer, like we're talking about it a lot. We say, God, I wish we had something like our guides are hearing these prayers, however they're coming out. So I'll say that first and foremost. But it was amazing. We just got together with another set of 2 couples for dinner and games and music. We all made dinner together. We all improvised and played music in this amazing room with like 30 instruments in it. It was incredible.
It was Kennedy.
I was going to say, like, I think I know who that is.
Yep. And then we sat down and played a game, an improv game. This is not a pen. Matthew, you were the first person to have taught me that game.
Yeah.
We played that game, and then one of the people in the circle said, who's got a question? Who's got a question we can all go around and answer, you know? And I said, I'm very curious how we as couples are processing. So we came up with some question to answer that, and then the rest very organically unfolded.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think something that to like bring some vulnerability into it, I think is something that I'm noticing a trend for myself is I struggle, just to go back to the feedback thing, it would be fun to talk about a little bit more, is that like there's something inside of me that is like when I hear feedback, whether it's about like trying to please you or trying to do something, like it's been cold as fuck in our house and we'll like get into bed and
temperature wise,
warm energy, and I like put my hands on her and she's like, God, get those fucking hands off me. Or like the sheet is like falling off my back while we're like cuddling or whatever, or having sex, and I like have to put it back on my back, and I've taken that as I'm not doing enough. I should know better. I should know better. I should have gotten that. I should have picked that up. Even today, like I forgot something for a project that I'm trying to do in the house. Like I needed a belt sander to do something in the house, and I was like, Jordan, can you try to go to the tool library and pick this up? And I think in my head, like I should have done that. I should have been the one who thought about that. And you know, when it's about pleasing Jordan, it's hard. It's like I really want to put a lot of pressure on myself to like know what to do is the right thing, or to say or do the right thing, say the sexy thing, or you know, and that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, you had mentioned this thing actually when we talked a few weeks ago. Like I wrote down here on my piece of paper, Nick, I assume I should know everything.
Wow.
So you did tell me that.
It's still there. Yeah. It feels softer right now than it did, I think, at that point. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, how does... I guess that's a good point of, like, questioning, too, is, like, you know, that's... To me, that seems like something that's really very much happening inside of you. You know, and so I guess in this space I would ask, like, Jordan, how is it for you? Like, when you hear that, is that, like... Yeah, how Nick is sort of having that process internally. Maybe that's not the first time you're hearing this, Jordan, you know, him saying that, but like, how do you receive that? Or like, how do you feel that impacts your relationship? Like having that happening of like, I should know this, you know, having this shame or whatever it might be.
Well, I feel really tender and sweet when I hear you say that. And I feel empathy for you because I'm a type 3 on the Enneagram. I am a very high achiever and I expect a lot of myself. So in other areas of my life, I do that same thing. I have high expectations and I just feel sweet and tender because I know how hard that is and I know how strong that inner voice of perfection can be. And I do not hold you to that standard at all. So many of the things you've expected perfection I think they're just like laughable. They don't make an impact on me. Really, most of them whatsoever, they don't make an impact on me that you don't do them or you don't do them right. I actually love the process of advocating for myself. As a woman, this has been very empowering to continue to have opportunities to do that, because that's hard. So when something isn't quite right, like this is an example, Nicholas was giving me a massage a couple weeks ago, and I didn't like some of the things he was doing, and I got the opportunity to ask and make a request for things to be different. He took it hard on himself in the moment that he didn't know how I wanted it, especially because that is a part of his profession. But I love it. I loved the opportunity.
There's more too. So I also got really quiet. I really got really. I wouldn't say it's super irritable in the moment, but I definitely have in the past gotten angry at you and been like,
yes,
what the fuck's wrong? Like, what?
Yes. You've gotten angry at me for making too many requests.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's a real thing. I mean, I can get overwhelmed by just too much feedback. But most of the time it's not about you. It's about me just feeling like I don't want to feel that shame. And so I deflect it onto you and get mad at you.
Yeah. Like Jordan shouldn't be so picky or so specific in what she wants.
God, I'm like, why do you have to be so like fidgety? Why can't you just be okay with the cold?
My cold hands on your naked body. Why aren't you turned on by that?
Well, it seems like, from what you said, Jordan, like, forgetting to put the blanket over the shoulders when it's cold isn't a big deal. You like to say, hey, can you put those blankets over your shoulders? Because Nick is like, oh, I should have known that.
Right.
Should have known you're cold, and I need to keep that blanket on my back. But and then it seems like there's these moments too where things get a little bit tense. Maybe it's like too many requests from Jordan for Nick, and Nick is like, so what do you do in those moments? Like, when it does that sort of, maybe the escalation builds, and like how do you move from that point to, being at a more level?
It's been more of the ones we've been talking about recently in the past couple months, but when we first started dating, I think I remember having it being like, holy shit, there's a lot of requests right now in the kitchen. And the kitchen is a triggering place for me. It was my relationship with my mom, and receiving a lot of feedback and a lot of like pointed feedback that's like more shamed. She doesn't shame me. So maybe I felt judged by you before, but there's never been like language before that you've used to shame me, which I really appreciate. But there's just like an inner part of me that hears it and is just like, bad boy. So.
Well, something I've noticed as we go from triggering event back to regulation and equilibrium, for better or for worse, neither one of us is really prone or quick to anger. So usually what I've noticed in both of us at times is we're feeling activated, we're feeling triggered, and there's quiet. There's quiet.
Both of you.
Yeah, I have that tendency, and you can speak for yourself, but I see that in myself. And I say that it's kind of for better, because there is a sweetness in like the gentle opening up to then go from silence to then gently opening up and say, ow, that hurt. Or like, as opposed to the opposite, which is immediate defensiveness and hardness, and then having to like de-escalate. It's almost like we have to escalate to get to the true nature of what's not feeling good. We go from being quiet about it and then gently unfurling and allowing what we're really feeling to come through and be seen by the other person.
And we are really practicing anger too.
Yes,
really
we
doing
are
a good job of
practicing
practicing anger. What did you do? You said something last week, it was good. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh, I was so angry at you. I used the F word at Nicholas for the first time ever. He was burning.
She cussed at me.
I did.
Teacher.
He was burning something on the stove, and I said, Nicholas, what the fuck? You're burning these nuts.
But you were feeling angry at the moment, though.
I
was like, fuck yeah, you're fucking pissed, because I told you last night about how I told her we have like a strict you can't use more than 5. If you put more than 5 on the the stovetop, it burns everything. Unless it's water.
Nothing above 5.
Yep.
And so she kind of digged at her the night before. I was like, hey, please don't let these nuts go. And then I did the nuts.
He loved it. He loved it that I allowed myself to be seen in a messy way.
Yeah.
I was so apologetic. I thought it was so rude the way I spoke to him. I was so apologetic.
Yeah.
And it was so adorable that he was like, it's great, it's fine. Good for you.
It's like, take that to the bedroom. Like, talk to me like that.
Take it to the bedroom. Yeah.
I love kind of a little bit of playful. When I'm in a good space, I can totally handle that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I laugh. I laugh so hard when, especially I work with kids a lot, and like with field trips. I just think it's so funny when a kid gets so angry, and I'm just like, my shield is totally up. I'm having a great day. I'm just not. This is not going to affect me. Talk about being an educator and how it's like preparing you for life. Mm-hmm. A kid told me one time, I hate you. He just turned around and he just said, I hate you. And I said, that's a really interesting way of showing me that you love me. Mm-hmm. I laughed at him. I just kept laughing at him. And I was like, you have a really good pouty face. I was like, you are a really good powder. Mm-hmm. It's just fun to play with. It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't take it that seriously too much anymore.
And
not always, but.
And in the tense, I mean, what happened in that moment? So you yell out, "You're burning the fucking nuts," and he reacts with, how did it go?
I think I was like, okay. At first, I was like, all right, yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah, I'm asking because it seems like in other situations there's this silence that happens. If things escalate, maybe there's a little bit of a back and forth.
It was more silence, withdrawn approach. Yeah. And then after I had some like my brain turned online, I was like, okay, that was actually great. Mm-hmm. I wasn't that quick to like, oh babe, thanks for being so angry. Yeah. You're showing your anger. No, it was good. I mean, what's the guy? Someone, Patrick sent you that thing this week about how emotional intelligence is.
I read an article, last week that was really interesting, and it was a German psychologist who was purporting that more emotionally intelligent people actually have and experience less intimacy because they're so good at self-regulating. Mm-hmm. The other person doesn't get to experience them as messy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit, that me. That me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We don't get to show our anger or disappointment when we're so like when we're so like it's when we use like an I feel statement or MVC. MVC is great. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes I'm like, where the fuck is the emotion? You're literally just robotically telling me what's going on.
This has actually come up for us. Nicholas has given me that exact feedback before.
Yeah, well, I think there's so many rich things there. Because I think for listeners, like, knowing what MVC is, but I'm like, do I want to go there yet? I think, like, what I want to stay with for a sec is just this way of things getting heightened and you having ways of working through them, which for you seems like both go silent. So I guess a question I would ask is, like, is that a pattern that you all have seen in other relationships, or has it been different when you've been in different people? Like, have you each personally gone to that quiet space, and maybe, I don't know if it's withdrawing for you, but have you withdrawn, and maybe the other person has a different strategy, or has it been different with different people, that maybe you've been more anxious or reached towards the other person when conflict has happened? Or I'm just curious, like, how has it been in other relationships, or maybe what have you learned in this relationship that's different or not different? Yeah, just curious about
that. My classic pattern. Okay. Yeah. I can think of it in every major relationship I've had as an adult. It's been this way. Mm-hmm.
Even if the other partner is like, maybe the other partner is reaching towards, or like, I don't know, is more emotionally expressive or something. I even can remember a time in the past where someone was really wanting me to process in the moment when it was really hot and fresh. Mm-hmm. And the feeling that came to me was like, I don't yet know how I really think about this. I need time to go and process and then transmit
where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know right now.
Yeah.
So that pathway is longer for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have similar experience. A lot of my past partners would get angry or frustrated, and I would just be like, I'm gonna shut down,
Okay.
or yeah. There has been like big trends in relationships where it lasted like months, where I was like, I'm really bad. I'm a really bad boyfriend. I'm a really bad partner, and it just creates this it creates it even more. It's like every time I feel like I'm disappointing them or doing something that's not showing up, I'm like even more withdrawn, or my confidence goes lower.
So what happens here that doesn't make it happen for months, like say for a long time? Like how do you, when that thing happens, that's like, oh, I'm, not good, or I'm not doing it right. Yeah.
Love, trust, I feel like. Resilience. Being able to just tap into something bigger than the little moment that we're in. Just to like zoom out a little bit and just be like, okay, this isn't about this person. This is what I'm experiencing. And try to remove myself from the story. I think it was a trend that we set really early on, to be honest. It's something that I've loved about you since the beginning. And I've told you about this. I told you this while we were on that last road trip. You were one of the best people at taking accountability for your emotions. It was so inspiring to me when we first started dating. I was like, God, you're fucking... I've never been with somebody who's just like, this is my experience, and it's not about you. This is what I'm at. This is where I'm at. Maybe there's something that you did that triggered this, but it's not that you did anything wrong. And she says that every day, pretty much, to me, or just about somebody else. Her dad told me about that this week. I called him on the phone. I was talking to him, and he's like, Jordan, she's the best in people. She doesn't think anybody's bad. And it's been so inspiring. I have that too inside me, for sure.
Yeah, I can maybe even count on one hand the number of times you have said something that sounds like blaming me for your emotional experience. That is not a theme in our dialogue.
Yeah. I feel like we really do a good job of just remaining objective. I feel like the past 2 years since my last relationship, 3 years, I don't know. I've just been more and more objective. More and more just like, this is where we're at. This is what's happening. Remove myself from the story. I made this thing called Dogzer.
That's an acronym, people. Say
acronym.
it one more time.
Dogzer. DALGSER. I was just fucking journaling one night. I was like, I need an acronym for what I'm doing.
All right,
well, there's something from Atomic Habits where it's like something to do.
That's the D?
Something. Yep, that's the D. Then there's a G, is like something you're grateful for. And then, I don't know. That's what Atomic Habits is. It's a book. But Dogzer is something to do, an affirmation for myself, something to let be, something to be grateful for. And that's like one section. That's part one. The second part is, what's one story that I have had today about myself or about somebody else or about what I'm doing. Like, Mrs. Peppermill has a bad relationship with her son because she's attached to him. I don't know. That's an example for somebody else, but for myself, it would be like, I'm a bad person because I forgot to turn off the
belt sander.
Get the belt sander. Yeah.
So that's a story.
That's the
right?
story.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
E is expectations around that story. Like, what's the expectation? The expectation is that I'm remembering everything. And then I'm like, and then I sit with that. I'm like, God, I can't do that. That's not a real expectation. And then R is a reframe. Just being like, okay, what's actually the truth? what's the absolute truth? Not the relative truth, but like what's the absolute truth? It's like, yeah, I'm not going to remember everything in the world. I'm not going to be perfect. Sometimes I'm going to go against my values. So
Yeah.
I actually just really appreciate how you, in a really weird way, tried to name what a story is and give examples of stories. Because I notice in our culture here where we live, that is a buzzword. You're stuck in your story. They're really in their story about this. And I'd say this is another, like, one of the keys to our successful communicating is being able to differentiate what is a story and what are your feelings and what's actually happening. And so I really like that. There's a lot more that I think we could probably say about that, about story and what that is, what that means.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'm hearing regarding the, I just lost my train of thought too. What I'm hearing regarding the part about how you both seems like you appreciate each other for taking responsibility for your emotions.
yeah,
That seems to be a really key thing in a way that you both stay on a level plane. It's like, this thing happened, maybe it's something that the other partner did, but the way that I'm reacting to that or what I'm feeling about that thing happening is mostly about me. Yeah, and I think that's just a really key thing, and it's not very common. So
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Most of us were never taught that.
Yeah.
So much of mainstream culture is, I feel a feeling and it's because you did X, Y, and Z. All my feelings come from what you did or didn't do.
You made me this way.
You made me angry.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and Nick, for you, for this, this thing with the acronyms that you have and journaling the different parts, like, when do you find yourself doing that most?
I do the SER a lot, subconsciously at this point. I don't actually journal much anymore at all. But I definitely subconsciously do stuff. Yeah.
That's not true. You do journal to me. We have a journal that we share, and we write notes to each other, mostly poems and like sexy poems. And we write them to each other. And Nick found it recently in our stuff and resuscitated it and has been writing me journal entries in it.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about that. And I still want to stay. I have one question related to this, which was, how did you both learn how to do that? The thing about, we'll just call it in shorthand, taking responsibility for each of our emotions. Like, what was some of the process of getting to that point?
100% for me, it came from nonviolent communication study. I was in a, what's the word? Immersion.
Okay.
I was in a year-long immersion group of people practicing NVC for all of 2025. And before that, I'd gone to a few retreats and taken 3 classes before that. So that's exactly where that came from. I knew nothing about it before then.
Yeah. Would you be willing to give a short description of nonviolent communication and just like a little bit, either what it is to you or some of what it's based on?
Yeah, I'll try to be brief.
Yeah.
One of the principles that is most related to what we're talking about right now is identifying that when we have an emotion, it is because our needs either were or were not met, not because of anything else that anybody did. That is the briefest example I can give of it. My emotions are the byproduct of my needs either having been met or having not been met.
So yeah, it was being in an immersion. Like, what was the immersion like? How often did you all meet? Like,
twice a month, 1 day a month for 5 hours, 1 day a month for 2.5 hours. It was amazing. There was a couple in the group, so we heard a lot of details about how they were using this in their marriage. The ages ranged from late 20s to early 70s. It was amazing.
Are there places that people, do you know people can still find something like that?
Yeah,
that
if you search for the Real Center online, Steve Torma is our very beloved teacher, and he teaches classes both here in person in Asheville, North Carolina, and online. You can join his classes from anywhere.
Cool. How about for you, Nicholas? Like, what do you sort of attribute to learning about how to take accountability for what you're feeling inside?
I feel like... Oh, wait. Now that you asked the question again, was that the same question you asked before?
Yeah, it's more or less like... Because I think one of you said, I can't remember if it was Jordan or you, but... you appreciated Jordan for being able to really not blame right. you for things. And then she also kind of said, well, you kind of do that too. So just like,
wow.
Yeah.
My brain went down a totally different path. Yeah, and I have an answer, and I really want to share it. And I think there's something with accountability, but I think it's more with detaching from the story.
I see. Yeah, that was the biggest one. That was
also what
Great.
I was talking about.
Yeah, go for it.
And I think that's connected with accountability. When I can detach from the story, I can... I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, I'll ask a question about like, how do you practically detach from the story? So if there's like some type of conflict happening or something's coming up, what are you able to do sort of in those moments? Or how do you, is it from taking that initial space? Like, I'm going to go silent now for a while, go through these steps of things, or however it might look. Or,
I'll show you an example from this weekend. I woke up, we had plans to hang out with friends with the couples group last night. And I also picked up a massage shift that I forgot I had, and I was like, I'm gonna call off. I really want to prioritize friend time. And so I called off work, and then I told Jordan right away, and she was like, what? She was like, why did you do that? Like, that's so surprising to me. That feels super against your values. And I forget what else he said. That pretty much summed it up. And I just was like, whoa, that's a lot. I feel so judged. I feel really judged right now. And I just went in my head, and then like kind of was silent for a little bit. And I was...
While you were still on the phone, or you all hung up and then...
We were in person
together.
Oh,
you were together. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to... I need silence right now.
In support, he was very quiet, and I went to put my hand on his leg. And he said, I don't want to be touched right now.
I just need to be in my chamber for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it was really sweet. It actually brought me way into this like connection spot with her, rather than just being like, I can't. It just started with like starting to say what I need, like little drops of what I need to feel better. And it started with those two, and then I was like, what I need is to like share this and be like, this is not about you. What you said, it's just like, I'm just feeling really shitty about myself right now. And like, I'm not doing anything right. I'm just trying to like get all these needs met, but I'm like going away from my values, and I just feel shitty. And then she was like, well, maybe she's like, maybe you should try to change the couples group to later so that we can you can work and do that. And that's what I did. And I went back to my job, and I was like, actually, I was kidding. I'm not sick. I'll take this massage shift back. I mean, it was a mess yesterday, but it was like so sweet. I was like, I was just having a hard morning. Please, I can take them back. And it actually felt great. But anyway.
Yeah, amazing.
That's a way that I take accountability.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I was going to get to, my answer from the question before is addiction. Addiction is like addiction and transactional beliefs. Like moving away from that. And it kind of connects with NVC in some way. It's like no one can make you feel a certain way. It's just like everything is happenstance in the world. Like I feel disgust or shame because of something. Like, and I don't. And it's impossible to track. I don't need to always go down the story. It's just like, okay, this is where I'm at now. What do I need to go down the story? Sometimes the story's helpful. Sometimes it's not. And what I've noticed with my cravings with like drugs and alcohol, and I've been sober for 2 years now, and I am like just have to detach from the story or the please to use the like use why why not use some use some weed to like take the edge off, or like why not? And I'm like, okay, this might work for a little bit, but in the most time it doesn't. I don't know if I'm making a lot of sense.
It sounds like your experience in recovery has taught you to ask yourself, what am I really needing?
Yeah.
What do I really need? I sense myself grasping towards a substance. What do I really need, and what am I really feeling? What feelings am I trying to cover up, and what do I really need to interact with?
And often I would just make stories. I would just make up stories like, oh, I feel this way because I like fucked up. I smoked weed. I fucked up and I like ate sugar and I like did all this stuff, and then I'm just like, oh, I feel this way because I feel this way. I don't need to. That's it.
This is another one.
What I need. Well, like what next is I just need to do a workout. Like I used to sit in bed all the time with insomnia. Oh, I feel this way because I ate chocolate too late. Oh, I feel this way because I didn't work out enough. Oh, but you know what? Most of the time I just need to read my book and like work out. That's what I need. That's actually what I need. I just need to like come and work out. And then I feel better.
So it seems like there's been like some internal process just with yourself a lot maybe in the past that like allows you in a relationship to be able to do that and speak like, this is what I'm needing, and like, you know, this is
we don't need to go down the story. It's just like, I'm restless right now. I need to go do this.
I think one of your superpowers is turning off the diagnoses. That's what's so common in our culture too, is I'm feeling this inflammation in my body because I ate sugar before bed. This is an example of one of the stories you told. I got sick because I broke my values and I ate sugar yesterday or whatever. I see you very often just saying, I don't know why, but it just is what it is, and you just accept it and then just move forward. And it's so inspiring because I sometimes want to understand exactly why something happened, and I put a lot of energy into that, and I just appreciate your ability to turn off the diagnosis. The diagnosis isn't helpful.
I think we're a really good match in that way. I feel like it's beautiful to support you in that way at times when you're really struggling. Yeah. Can you say more about that? More about like the desire to.
I think it's so uncomfortable to have things not go your way. So my tendency is to want to really analyze and think, how can we prevent this from happening again? You know, how can we analyze it and change the variables, and just very anxiety-inducing thoughts of like diagnosing, correcting, analyzing, fixing, efficiency. My brain is very hardwired for efficiency.
So sometimes Nick can just say like, I don't know, what do you say? It is that way? Or something.
I don't know.
This is how it is.
Because
you said sometimes you're like, I can support her in that way. Of like, not going
I try to challenge you. More of the time, more often than not, you just need validation with where you're at. And often I'm like, okay, you're trying to plan so that we don't feel disappointed.
Oh, I see.
I'm like, what's the fear? What's actually going on? You're afraid of what happening?
Yeah, I'd say we've learned about us. It feels really good to have questions asked of you. Like, I'm imagining what you just said, Matthew, where Nick's like, it is what it is. That would feel terrible.
I have totally tried that.
Awful to me.
I have totally done that.
Yeah.
When we first started dating, I think or maybe like 2 months in, I don't know. I would just be like, oh, it was all about
So you learn that that's not a thing. Yeah,
no.
You don't do that, but ask questions.
Yes.
Maybe about the experience.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense to me, and I would say, yeah, for anyone listening, like, actually, speaking of Steve Torma, who you were talking about, offers these classes, I've only taken Intro to Nonviolent Communication, like the 101 class, but I talked with Steve after one of the classes. And so for the listener, the thing that he said that was really helpful for me is he said, a relationship is like what you all figure it out to be. Because I was sort of talking to him about like, well, sometimes this thing doesn't seem to quite exactly work what you're talking about doing. And he's like, well, you can do whatever you want. If you agree with the person that the best thing is to like yell at each other for a while about what's happening, then like do that, and that was really helpful. So, just in a relationship, it's like you figure out what works. You try, it just is how it is. You're good. And that didn't work, so you correct and do something else. And
one of the things that goes back to our personality style of like a little bit of stillness and then figuring out what we're really feeling and wanting is we have both received this like hallmark relationship advice from a few different people. Mm-hmm. Never go to bed angry. We never go to bed angry. Mm-hmm. And that is not the culture of our relationship at all. Mm-hmm. It's perfectly fine to take time. Mm-hmm. Just to let a conflict sit. And so that's what works, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I do wonder where that came from, because I definitely know that one too. Don't go to bed angry or something.
Yeah.
I think it's
more of like come together before bed and tell each other you love each other and be like, I still love you, even if we're not like seeing eye to eye. I love that sentiment.
I love that too. But I also think one of the bravest things we can do is come back to a conflict after the heat of the intensity has settled down. Mm-hmm. That takes so much courage. And I know most people, I don't think, do that. Mm-hmm. So I think the sentiment is like, don't go to bed angry. Don't like let the conflict go unresolved. But we've chosen many times to come back to a conflict even after the main heat event has cooled down. Mm-hmm. To say like, I needed some time and I've actually spent the day thinking about it and here's what came to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then there's a lot of richness in what you can find, if you revisit it or you sit with what happened for a while. Yeah. So another question that I have that's sort of staying in this theme slightly, and we can go here or not, but you had mentioned, because we were talking about both of you being fairly going to this quiet place, being regulated and calm, and then also saying sometimes, that feels maybe not emotionally expressive or expressive. And you both mentioned to me when we were talking on the call that you sometimes work through some of these things in the sexual space. And I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, or just talk about times when there is these expressive places that come up, if that's something that you want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, one thing is I learned from a somatic therapist that our brains learn 400 times faster when we are in play. Mm. And I feel that in this realm of our life. It's sort of like those examples we gave earlier of like taking a sticky thing and making a game out of it. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. I would love to hear if you're available to like talk about shame, because this is like one of the most obvious examples we have is like how you choose to interact with shame in the bedroom.
Oh, I love it. I have an existential kink towards it. Existential kink is... What is existential kink? It's like getting turned on by something that's actually terrible. It's like you're a little kinky slut for wanting to feel shame, and so you put yourself into situations so you feel more shame. Mm-hmm. Or you want to feel disappointed, so you like continue to get into relationships that you're going to be disappointed in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think shame is something that I'm going to probably unconsciously seek out all the time. Is like I will just like set up myself in scenarios to feel shame. Mm-hmm. Because I somehow I get off on it. Somehow
more consciously now, or still some like
in the bedroom I consciously do it to release it.
Yeah.
Because what I can do is hold on to it for so long,
right?
And I forget to actually be like feel and cry and just be really sad with it. Mm-hmm. And sex is like a fun way to play with it, and it's not even the humiliation and shame play that we do is sexual, but it's also just like a impact play type of thing, where she's like spanking me and just like, I can't believe you didn't. Oh, what you did?
I can't believe you didn't pick up the belt sander. How could you forget something that's so important? You're constantly forgetting important things.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. And just being totally...
It's almost like indulgent.
It's indulgent.
Yeah.
It's like just indulging in the shame.
Yeah.
Just being fully in it and being okay with it. I'm just being like... And it feels so good to be in it and release. And sometimes I'll cry. Sometimes I won't, but...
I noticed too, we often, when we're playing with these things, make them way more exaggerated than reality. And that feels safer. For me to speak in a language of like, you're always forgetting things. You're constantly letting me down. Things that I would never say to him in our day-to-day life. We do that a lot with play and in the bedroom. Exaggerate them. And it's really freeing because sometimes I do think he fucking disappointed me. So that I get to talk about it in this really dramatic way. It is very cathartic for me too.
Yeah, I love doing humiliation. It's not your thing. It's not like totally Jordan's thing.
No.
We've tried it a little bit.
We've tried
I would
it.
love to be able to release a little bit more, probably.
But we've tried it and it's brought up some really beautiful stuff. Like one time we tried it and I ran away. Literally, I ran away when he was spanking me, and I hid in a closet.
Oh, to go in the other way too.
Yeah, when I was shaming her. So I was
shaming me.
And I was like...
So like when it goes, Jordan is shaming Nick, it works
he loves
really
it.
well because
We
he
all
loves
love
it.
it.
But then
it's pretty good. Yeah.
But then you switched it.
Yeah, we
and then-
switched it.
Yeah.
And I was I was embarrassed. I was hurt. I was scared. And so in the play scene, I like ran away. I hid in the closet. And he, in the play scene, came over and was like really protecting me and listening and empathizing with me and just understanding that I was scared and afraid. And then like gently coaxed me back out with his softness. And
then spanked you more.
And then
I was like, we still need to...
We still have to finish our spankings, yeah. But that was so beautiful and so healing. The little girl play is what's so cathartic for me. I've noticed I get really tired of making decisions and being in charge. You know, I'm just a high functioning woman that owns a business in the world. And when we play in a way where I just get to be little and tiny and make no decisions and be taken care of and be like a princess, it's very healing for me. It's very healing. And there's dynamics of our relationship where I am holding a little bit more of the yang energy at times. So tell me if this doesn't feel right for you, but I imagine it feels really cathartic and good for you to just be like 100% in control.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. I sometimes have craved it out and be like, I would love to dominate you. I need to be on top. I need to. Like, I just need this right now because it's feeling like I have been not receiving, but more like
passive or submissive.
Yeah, or deferring or low confidence. I'm just like, I just want to like have a win. And sometimes though that gets to a point where I'm like using it too much. Like I'm using this too much rather than like just a beautiful thing. I'm like trying to take and get a lot of needs met, my egoic needs met, and it doesn't always feel that good. So
that's a question that I have because if anybody is considering, again, I'll ask sort of the same question I asked about sort of the emotional responsibility stuff. Is like, how do you get to the point where you can play with shame in the bedroom or like or ask for these things? Because I feel like, what are the parts of your journey that have allowed you to do that? Because I think it's not necessary. Maybe it is common. I don't know. But I'll just say for the listener who's listening, like, I would like to explore what it's like to exaggerate the shame that I'm feeling and have my partner like punish me for that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think it is about each of you maybe could speak about how the people you are, that's something that you can do.
I think I just get so excited about feeling every emotion in the world. I feel like a mantra of mine is like, I'm a human. It's like beautiful to feel the full range of emotions, and I celebrate different emotions. Like I love celebrating feeling sad or feeling, and I've just been in those spaces for a long time, like working in wilderness therapy, working with like kids, and like when you try to put a kid's emotions aside, like it doesn't work. It's like you need to be like, great, you feel fear right now. It's so normal. And it's like so much better response. And just like celebrating emotions is like such a beautiful thing that I've been cultivating for a long time, I feel like. And it's a part of my addiction thing as well, I think. Just being like, great, I'm feeling desire. Great day to be a human. What is, and then maybe that's silver-lining it, but it worked. It's worked. It's definitely doesn't work for every moment, but it can. Yeah, and I think I just stumbled upon it. I think I just like tried some kink play, like I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Like with somebody who introduced it, or you went to
introduced it to me, was like, spanked me, and I was just like, whoa, that was awesome. I just felt so much release and so clear, like afterwards, and just being like, wow, I felt those feelings now, and now I'm like not holding on to that shame anymore, because I got to play it out. Yeah, got to just like be with it.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it can just be one person that introduces something new to you that you've never done before. And you're like, I want to try more of that. Yeah. But also, I hear the part about working with the kids too, and like, in those different types of environments, and seeing that kids have emotions all the time, and they're sometimes a little bit less like guarded than we are, and to have someone in the space too to like celebrate it instead of say like, well, you don't have to have that feeling, or like, whatever it is.
It never worked. It doesn't actually work. Stop crying.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
And how about for you, Jordan? About like how you feel like you've come to that place of being.
1 second. Kiss my fart.
What did you ask her?
Guess my fart.
Guess my fart.
Oh, like what it's.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good guess.
That's pretty close.
That's a nice game. So that was the Guess My Fart game, which is...
If you're looking to build emotional intimacy, let's just start right there.
Guess my fart.
So Jordan made the sound with her mouth. Nick says...
Before I farted.
Yeah, Nick says, guess my fart. Jordan makes the sound, and then the fart comes out, and we see how close it is.
That's how you fall in love.
It's how you stay in love.
That's how you stay in love.
My answer is going to be just safety. I feel safe with you, Nicholas, to be able to try anything and to be able to ask for what I want. And something I've learned about safety is it comes from 2 places, and it's not 100% one or the other. Safety comes from internally making choices to help me feel more safe. Sometimes that's making a request. Sometimes that's removing myself from a situation. It's changing my environment so that I feel more safe. And it's making requests of the other person or the other person's participation in the space that helps me feel safe. It's not, my safety is not 100% in your control, but it's also not 100% in my control either. So I just feel safe with you. You're the kinkiest partner I've ever had. And so you're kind of a role model, and it's easy to try new things when crazy stuff comes out of your mouth. Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, I would say there's some other life skills, like you talked about working in the therapeutic setting, but also just improv. We both have a lot of experience in improv. And that's a place where you're doing the same thing, but your clothes are on. You're saying, let's try something weird.
Right.
And see what happens.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, so much richness. We've been talking for over an hour now.
Really?
So, yeah. So I do want to ask. I mean, my last question is usually like, yeah, is there anything else that you would want to share with a listener about like what makes relationship work? You know.
Feels good to be asked advice. To give advice.
I know.
Feels sweet. It's like we are doing really good.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, we're not perfect, and we have a lot of fun. But
Well, I expect you to be perfect.
Just like you do.
yeah. I have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect.
Something came up last night that was a common theme with these other couples.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little thing, but just kind of like allowing the other person to be who they are. You know, like if I chose to, I could probably name at least 5 to 10 things every day that I feel annoyed by you.
Hell yeah.
And I don't.
Hell yeah.
And I don't choose to do that.
Good. Yeah.
I
can feel when you're annoyed.
don't even need to say it.
But I'm like, great. She's annoyed.
I think the biggest thing that I appreciate about you as a person and our connection is play. We constantly play. There's something playful that happens every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're making up the weirdest shit all the time.
We are constantly singing songs and improvising dances and songs, and I just thank God for your natural personality, because you're just naturally oriented towards play and curiosity and gratitude. Mm-hmm. I don't actually know how much of that's natural and how much of that you like worked for, but yeah.
Play every day.
Play every day.
Play every day.
That's one thing will keeps the relationship together.
Yeah.
Play every day.
Mm-hmm.
Play some way.
Yeah.
I also don't feel afraid to have any difficult conversation with you. And that, I think, that starts with the small things. Even in our play activities, we practice saying uncomfortable, true-ish things. The other day we did another activity about making requests. Nicholas was worried that I wasn't making enough genuine requests and I might be deferring or hiding my requests. So we played a game where we went back and forth until we came up with 20 requests. Some of them were completely exaggerated. Mm-hmm. And again, it feels good to say the huge version of a little thing that maybe you have had as a request before. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it was a game, right? So like we brought out wigs and hats and we dressed up and then we did it. Mm-hmm.
Or some of them, they were like,
yeah,
can you just... Some of them were just really dramatic and they were not real. And I just kept saying, these are not real. I kept repeating.
I said, will you stop touching me?
Uh-huh. I mean, okay, so I think they were coming from real emotions. Mm-hmm. But they were not a real request. Like I was like, you don't actually need to do this. Some of them, I was like, can you stop fucking controlling everything?
Oh, uh-huh.
Like it was like it was like brutal at times.
You said, can you stop being so sad?
Yeah,
that was a big one.
Yeah. Can you?
So you kept saying, "This is not real. This is not real." Like before, you would say your request, or when you were hearing them, or both. Both.
Yeah. No, when both. Yeah.
Both.
I think I was saying it before I said something because I was like, I need to.
It could be intense,
Yeah.
There's some feeling behind this for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is not a request.
Mm-hmm. Then we did a debrief and we said, like, which ones felt the most tender to say because they might have been real at times, or to hear because we're like, maybe I'm really worried that you really want to ask me that or something. Mm-hmm. We had a sweet little debrief of it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, well, I think to answer this question even more, I met this guy on a hike one time. He was walking around with a camera. He already had his camera out. He was kind of like bug-eyed, and I was like, "You're on drugs for sure." He had a big backpack, super dirty, and he was like, "What do you have to say?" Oh, he's like, first he was like, "Can I take a video of you real quick?" And all he said was, "What do you have to say?"
And I was like, this last question here.
I was like, nothing. There's enough things to be said in this world. Just listen. Show up. Pay attention. Release outcomes. But there's no right or wrong way. Whatever works. Just keep playing. Keep trying. Like, yeah. And he was like, I've been out here. I was like, what are you doing out here? He's like, I've been out here for 11 days eating lentils and trail mix. He was like backpacking in New York in the Adirondacks. Yeah. I was like, hell yeah. Anyway, that's to say, there's no right or wrong. Like, there's nothing. Every relationship is different. Every relationship needs something different. Just get clear with your needs. Not just, it's hard. It's hard to actually do that.
Yeah.
Like, get clear with your needs. This is what I've been trying to do. Is get clear with your needs and then say what you need. And the stories, try to leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was amazing to hear about all the different things and like to get insight into your relationship as a friend, and also for people in the world just to have more possibilities about how to do things. You know, like you said, there's many ways, but here's one possibility of a way to do things. So
thank you, Matthew. It was so sweet to discover, I don't know, just to discover things through your questions, and I appreciate your curiosity.
It was really nice.
Thank you for the
You're a good questioner.
Your hands look like mine. Father's hands spin me around. Make me a bowl of clay. And empty me out of all the stories in my brain. They're weighing me down, and they're not real. Coming into the light, greeting all my beasts before God.